Sarge, hey, before we begin, can we not do any questions about my leg? Is that all right?
Welcome to Hey EW. I am RJ City, and my guest is Zach Gowen. Hey.
Hey,
Okay. You were born in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
correct.
Do you think you were never taken seriously because Ypsilanti is such a stupid name?
I don't think that's the reason people didn't take me seriously.
Really, it's got a Y and a P together.
It really does.
You can't even say it seriously.
It's
You have to
hard.
say it like, yay.
Ypsilanti, man. Yeah, well, it kind of encompasses my personality as well.
Just off kilter and juvenile.
Some might say, yeah.
Right. I'm going to skip ages 1 to 7 because I got to get to the good stuff. At the age of 8, you were diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
How did they explain that to you?
They sat me down. Well, the thing is, I broke my leg
Yeah.
in 3 places, and it never healed. So over the course of 7, 8, 9 months, we kept doing different treatments. They didn't work. Finally, they did a biopsy. The results came back. The results were conclusive. The reason why I broke my leg in the first place, the reason why it never healed was because of a cancerous tumor growing on my femur at 8 years old.
I'm so glad you brought it up because the next question they're considered follow-ups. Did you get it enough to be scared and depressed, or were you like a Tiny Tim? I'm gonna pull through, mister.
What is this?
It's a small program.
What do we-
I'm getting to the bottom of your mindset at the time. You know,
Is this-
fascinating stuff.
Is this what the wrestling business has devolved into over the past 22 years?
I wouldn't really call it a business, but we'll get into it. Confirm or deny, the Make-A-Wish Foundation offered you a wish, but you turned it down when you knew you were going to pull through.
That's true, because I was on the road to recovery, and I didn't feel like taking advantage of that opportunity. I thought we could use it for somebody else who needs it a little more
You
than...
just had to be the best kid in the world, didn't you, huh? Look at me. I'm giving it all back. Give it to someone who needs it. This is a foundation that makes the wishes. They give you the wish, you take the wish. It's inconsiderate to turn it down.
I just didn't feel like at that time I really needed it, or my family. We were so supported by my community, my neighborhood. Children's Hospital of Michigan did an amazing job.
That is so selfish of you.
Can I tell you, about 2 weeks after my amputation,
Yeah.
They allowed me to go home from the hospital for the first time.
Yes.
Right? And as a welcome home gift, my grandmother ordered the 1992 WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view for me because she knew I was a huge wrestling
Great.
fan.
Thanks for mentioning the other company.
I thought it was 2025. Okay. Isn't this the internet?
So you're watching it. You're watching
sorry.
the Royal Rumble.
For those 3 hours,
Yeah.
Ric Flair
Yeah.
wins his first WWE Heavyweight Championship, and I got to see it live and in color and in person. But
Keep saying the name.
more importantly, for those 3 hours, I didn't feel like the pain of having cancer or losing my leg or being different than everybody else. Everything went out the window when I tapped into the magic of professional wrestling.
Right.
And that's when the passion for what we do as entertainers, as liaisons of hope,
If you say so.
that's why I'm very passionate about what we do.
What about Kerry Von Erich? Did you relate to him?
I didn't know because I didn't know he was an amputee at the time. It was so well hidden.
Right. Where do you rank on the amputee sympathy scale?
On
Let's
a
say-
scale of 1 to what?
Well, let's say you're here, okay? Put your hand here. This is you.
I got you.
I'm gonna list things. You tell me if they're more sympathetic, these people, or less. Okay?
If they are, then me. Okay, I got you.
War amp.
Less.
Less? Okay. War amp who killed a lot of people.
More.
Oh, okay. Excellent. A guy who lost his leg in an accident.
Way less.
Okay. Guy who lost his leg in an accident that is also his fault.
Way less.
Okay. Guy who lost their arm.
I feel like it would be a lot easier to have one arm than one leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's
shoot on
way
those
less.
arm people. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great.
Shout out to Gregory Iron.
We don't have to talk about him. What about freaks? What about good old-fashioned freaks? They were just born nuts.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
Excellent. And then the diabetes toe people are like,
Yeah, we
laying
don't.
down there. Yeah,
Never.
Okay, fuck that. That's
Come
it.
on.
So you wanted to be a wrestler.
Always.
You get to Churchill High School.
Yes.
And your friends say you're an idiot.
That's everybody, not only my friends, but my teachers and the school bus driver and the lady that works in the office.
Yeah. Not only because of the leg thing, but because wrestling's really stupid.
Well, not because of the leg thing. That really didn't have much to do with it.
Right.
I think, I think I garnered a little bit of sympathy and goodwill from my community, at that point.
But your mother encouraged you to follow your dream.
She did.
Did she not think you could hold down a regular job?
No, she encouraged me to follow my dreams, but she said, Zachary, and it's serious when your mom uses your full given name. She said, Zachary, she goes, whatever, you can do whatever you want. It's America, baby.
Yeah, and that's the problem with it.
Yeah, well.
You first wrestled amateur, where you said the one leg was an advantage. Is that because kids felt like beating you up?
No, it was because I was my physical stature, I was the biggest 119-pounder in the area.
You were in the gear?
No, it was a different time.
I understand. I understand. You think you're too good for the Special Olympics?
No, the Special Olympics isn't for people with physical disabilities. It's for individuals with mental and developmental disabilities.
So they don't have one for physical?
They do. It's called the Paralympics.
The Paralympics. Yes, yes. I thought that was in groups. I thought it was a pair of Olympics.
No.
Very confusing. At the Livonia Mall, you saw two guys chain wrestling outside of the CVS.
Yes.
They had a show that night.
Yes.
That show had a school.
Yes.
The rest is history.
Rest is history.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Nothing good happens outside a CVS.
Not anymore.
Your career was doomed from the start.
Well,
you're lucky you're still alive, quite frankly.
Amen.
Hanging around CVS at the Livonia Mall.
I thank God every day.
You paid the school up front.
Up front?
You didn't tell them about the leg because you thought they would deny your application.
Listen, I'm not a wrestler. I'm a worker. See what I'm saying?
So did you just show up one day and pop it off?
Popped it off.
Excellent.
Popped in the ring.
And instead of recoiling in fear, they go, oh, we could make money off this guy.
No, they didn't think that, but they already spent the money that I gave them, so there was no chance of them giving me a refund.
Right. So you basically held a leg to their head.
Right to their head.
I understand. You opted to wrestle without the prosthetic leg because it felt like dead weight.
Yeah, in a small confined space like a wrestling ring, I'm much more agile. I can move a lot better. I can jump a lot higher without the use of my prosthetic leg.
It would also kind of kill your gimmick. You can't be the guy with one leg and then you have a cooler, stronger leg. Then you would just be cool leg.
And I could use it as a weapon too, which isn't very babyface of me.
Listen, can I just get
Can I say babyface?
No,
in
absolutely
the year
not.
2025?
Nope. Can I get all the other leg questions out of the way? Can we just do a little leg lightning round and then I won't?
We weren't supposed to talk about the leg at all.
You brought it up though. You brought it up.
I'm trying to go with you.
I would be a bad interviewer if I didn't have these questions.
Listen, here's the thing. Do you read the comments on YouTube? No. No, absolutely can't. You cannot.
No.
You cannot.
All right, come on, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
True or false? The fake leg smells.
False.
Excellent. What superior muscles do you have from just hopping around?
Quadriceps, glutes, calf. Are there any muscles in your foot?
A couple.
Maybe.
Those? Okay. Are you more prone to sitting on your balls?
Yeah.
So that's a risk people don't think about.
RJ, let me just say, you are so talented.
Thank you.
You are so talented.
Thank you so much.
Handsome. That was the best question. I've been interviewed multiple times.
Yeah.
I've been a professional wrestler since I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Over the past 24 years, I've been a professional wrestler. I've been interviewed by the top of the top and the lowest of lows.
Yeah, and you've had crushed testicles the entire time.
The entire time. Nobody asked me about them. Nobody. It's uncomfortable. Thank you, man.
Are you wasting socks?
No, I'm elongating the lifespan of socks. They come in pairs, but for me, they come in singles because now instead of buying 6 pairs, I have 12 socks.
So you don't put a sock on this?
Sometimes I do, but I don't take it off and wash it because why? It doesn't get stinky or sweaty.
Yeah.
It just sits in my shoe that doesn't get used.
This makes sense. Name one other thing you've used the fake leg for.
I hid it. I hid it under a desk of a substitute teacher to scare him when he left the room and he came back. Also, in 6th grade, Jordan McClellan scored.
He had a stutter?
No, that's just me. He scored a touchdown at recess. After he scores a touchdown, he drops down on one knee, and he does like the Tim Tebow prayer thing, right? It's just recess, brother. Like what are you praying to God because you scored a touchdown? So while he was bent over like this, I came up from behind him, and I just gave him a huge leg drop with the prosthetic leg on the back of the head, which that was my first expulsion or suspension, I think, from that school.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Thank you.
Did you lie about Hulk Hogan visiting you in the hospital as a child?
I did. I did lie. I lied. You have to understand that Mike Tenay came up to me in TNA. I'm
Dropping
naming
all
all
the
the companies that.
Yeah, okay.
It's Impact Wrestling now, right?
Yeah.
TNA. Mike Tenay came up to me right before my debut and said, "Are there any interesting facts about you?" And I just kind of spit out this lie, thinking it was a good story, which it is a good story. However, it just wasn't factual or true, and it made. And if you're gonna lie, don't lie about somebody in the same business as you are. You know, so that was a lesson that I had to learn at a young age.
It was also the one lie that would have helped Hulk Hogan. You know, isn't that beautiful?
Arguable. Yeah.
You first wrestled under the name Tenacious D. Did you have any idea then that they would eventually have a politically motivated breakup?
No.
Whose side are you on?
I'm on the side that I don't know. I do like Tenacious D's music.
Yeah.
Some of them are good. I think Jack Black is such a talent. I saw him in that Minecraft movie and with him and Jason Momoa, and they just the chemistry and the acting. It was such a throwback to the movies that I grew up watching. I just think Jack Black is one of the seriously most underrated talents.
Yeah, I love that thing he does where he's fat and he yells.
Yeah, he does it really well.
You hit the scene on the Indies, and a certain company took notice. I'm not going to say which company. They got on the phone, and they said, "Get me that one-legged wrestler."
Yes.
And they did,
Yes.
except they got the wrong one-legged wrestler.
Right.
Who was this other guy?
I never met him. I'd love to. I'd love to meet him and shake his hand.
It'd be great.
Yeah, it would be nice, man. But yeah, so he got signed, and but the problem with that is that he's 6'3", 275, and he wears his prosthetic. I'm neither 6'3" nor 275, and I don't wear my prosthetic when I wrestle.
Yeah, he had nothing that they were looking for.
Apparently
You had
not.
everything. And then it happened. Your dream came true. It was the hottest year in the world. You were right in the mix. Everyone you feuded with is canceled now. Is that a little difficult looking back on? Does that taint the experience a little?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to make a social media post
No.
with somebody who's canceled.
You gotta
remember
crop
this?
it. Yeah,
You want to
it's-
separate, but also I'm trying to get my likes up. So I'm just caught, in between a rock and a hard place at this point.
The merch, the signings, the price goes down.
Shoot, telling me, brother.
It's rough. And you're sitting on your balls.
Amen.
So that only lasts a year.
Yeah.
Then you get released, and apparently you hit rock bottom.
I did.
How?
Very much so. Drugs and alcohol, and not being able to overcome that challenge on my own.
Right.
That's it.
So was your life not hard enough?
you would think.
Yeah. You said, what happens if I actually intentionally be an
If I right. Yeah, push back a little bit against the narrative, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Listen, I was so young and so immature and so ill-equipped to handle the amount of fame and what I was doing with that company and all of that. And then my whole identity was wrapped up in being this wrestling superstar.
Yeah.
And then that was taken away from me. It wasn't taken away from me. I gave it away without question. But then I really didn't know what to do, and I didn't have a purpose, and I didn't have a meaning, and drugs and alcohol came into the picture, and they filled that gap for me inside, and so yeah, so my descent into alcoholism and drug addiction was very, very fast and very, very swift.
Yes. So all of this now is like fake.
This is not fake.
I get it. Then you went back on the Indies. You performed at Juggalo Championship Wrestling in a team with the Human Tornado known as Pimp and Gimp. Is it like the N-word rule where you can say that but no one else can?
It's not like that at all.
Okay. Do you have a favorite ableist term?
An ableist term?
Yeah.
What does that mean, ableist?
Do you have like a derogatory term? Do you have one you use?
For
Say you run into a guy without his arm and you say, hey.
Oh, I thought you meant, do I have a term for people who are able-bodied?
No. You're not listening.
Normies or something.
Yeah, no. You also did team with Gregory Iron, let's mention him again, who
Yeah.
has cerebral palsy, as the handicapped heroes. Why inspire those with special needs to get into wrestling? Aren't you leading them down a dark, dangerous road?
Looking back on it from a reflection standpoint, you might have a point for sure. But that wasn't the intention. Wasn't to inspire disabled kids to become professional wrestlers. It was to inspire the professional wrestling audience to let them know that their challenges can be overcome and turned into opportunities for growth, not only for you, but for the people around you. We can use the medium, the magic of professional wrestling to do that.
Yeah,
that's why we did it.
That's why all wrestling fans are doing so well. You have an autobiography called High Risk Maneuvers. Is it all childhood stuff, or do you bury people too?
I don't bury anybody in it.
Not one person?
No.
Name one person you should have buried in the book.
Bury who? I don't.
Gotta have
I carry zero resentment against anybody.
One of these guys. All right, you're now a motivational speaker.
Yes, sir.
Motivate me.
Yeah, I'm motivated. Listen, RJ, this has been the best interview I've ever had. You were so well researched. You were so prepared. You were so charismatic, talented. I met you years ago in a different company.
The AWA.
What are the rules? Am I not allowed to say other companies' names? I thought this was the internet and we can. I met you in the locker room. I don't know if you remember this or not. I wrestled L.A. Knight, but he wasn't L.A. Knight then. He was.
That's great. Name them all.
Shout out to L.A. Knight. And I shared a locker room with you, and I said to myself, I go, listen, this is the most talented, handsome guy in professional wrestling. I don't want to see him wrestle. I don't want to see him without a shirt on. I don't want to see him with a microphone in front of his face as he walks another wrestler out. I don't want to see him on the actual show. But there's got to be a place for someone like you inside this wacky world of professional wrestling. And I'm so happy that you found it here with, hey, ew.
Thanks a lot. Sufficiently motivated. Don't plug your speaking thing. AEW was your first appearance wrestling on national television in 22 years.
Yeah.
Were you afraid people wouldn't recognize you because you've bleached your hair?
No, that wasn't the. I was afraid people wouldn't recognize me because I haven't been on television in 22 years.
Yeah.
So there's a whole new generation of fans that have zero idea who I am.
Yeah, that weren't watching Velocity in 2004. Unbelievable. Do you think if you never had childhood cancer and got your leg amputated, you would have become a very average and unsuccessful wrestler?
Yeah, I do.
Because beyond that,
Very
what are you offering?
I'm 6 feet tall and I weigh 180 pounds.
Yeah,
like, what else?
yeah.
I can't, yeah, of course.
How is it that the worst thing that happened to you ended up being the best thing that happened
It's
to
not.
you?
It's irony. It's a twist of fate.
No.
It's what can happen if we don't allow life to define us, right? If we define our lives by our reactions to it, if our responses to life are rooted in faith, rooted in love, rooted in service, rooted in support, rooted in self-care, this is what can happen.
Sure, fine, whatever. Well, this has filled my special need. And you know what? It's not about the legs that we have outside. It's about the legs that we have in here. Put that on your little speaking tour.
I won't.